What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Maverick Man 101. Got a video here today from Sigma Trades. Let's just get right to it.
My husband is dying of kidney failure, and I've had the best news ever. His sons, his sons have taken a test to see if they're a match for Jeremy's kidneys, and they're not, which is amazing. But the reason they're not is because Jeremy's not actually their real dad. Sorry, I'm no stranger to admit that I don't like my husband's children, so this is like the best news ever. My husband doesn't know yet, but I'm obviously going to go and tell him because I just love... He doesn't need to know, but this might finally kill him off. He might have a heart attack in this time. For anyone that doesn't know, my husband's worth 30 million, so it's the money. It's none of yours now, Hugo, is it? Obviously he doesn't have a kidney now, so he's definitely going to like... This is the best news I've ever had in my life.
Disgusting. I mean, that's all I got to say. I think we covered this woman before on a previous video where she was on vacation, I believe, while her husband's or ex-husband's or whatever funeral was going on. And I think she was on vacation. So this is another side of the story where she is, I guess, celebrating the fact that he didn't get a kidney, which I'm assuming ultimately led to his death because the children, his children, or the children who he thought was his children weren't. And she's celebrating, right? And she thought that she had a cash cow. And if I remember from the previous video, I don't think she got any of that money, right? Just disgusting, right? Thinking that these women care about you, thinking that they want to be with you forever. She was just waiting for this man to die so that she can get her retirement money, right? Again, women showing their true selves, right? Never really loving the man for who he is, only loving him for what he's worth or his value. And then the second that she can't get that value, the second that she no longer benefits from that worth, she's out. I mean, they pretty much all follow the same playbook.
There's a special place in hell for women like this. Judging by the video, right. She's not seeing a dime, and neither are those kids now that he caught on. From what I saw in the comments, there's no need to stress after her first video went viral. The husband found out before he passed and took her off the will.
Yep.
Now, she's basically homeless. Actions have consequences.
Do you still trust women after working in nightlife for 20 years?
You know, obviously, you see a lot of cheating. I remember a girl was on a girls' night out in the bar, and she basically, her friends left, and she got talking to a guy. Obviously, she had the wedding ring on. The guy is actually somebody I know very well. All her friends leave. She says she wants to stay. One of the friends kind of lingers for a little while, trying to get her to leave, and knows what's about to go down. The girl just shoos her away. She ends up leaving. So now it's just her and him. Obviously, we're walking, you know, we know where this is going to end up. So he's looking at me going, yo, she's married. I'm like, dude, I don't want to part of this, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't really know the girl. Anyway, she gets on the phone, and she's right near me at the end of the bar, and she calls her husband, hey, babe, Stacy's vomiting and stuff. I'm going to stay with her and look after her, and so I'm going to be home late, or I might just sleep at Stacy's house, you know, depending on how she looks. I don't know who Stacy is, but she sure ain't in the bar at this point, right?
Oh, my God.
Right, so fast forward a few hours, you see her making out and the whole nine. They disappear. I believe dumpsters were involved, right? Yes.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Well, they disappeared. It's a hidden spot, you know. He comes back in. He's like, Rishi, I'm out. And I'm like, daps me up, leaves. I'm like, dude. She comes in 3 minutes later, just adjusting herself, calls her husband, has him pick her up at the bar, comes in, and she's introducing him to people like nothing happened. And I'm just like, I'm scarred. I'm scarred for life.
Wow. You know, I saw recently, shout out to Coach Greg Adams. I saw him, I think he covered that video about a week ago. I saw him talk about it, and I think he did. He basically talked about like red pill jobs, and obviously being a bouncer is one of them, right? You tend to see women at their worst, specifically when they're drunk and when they're on demon time, as I like to call it. But my goodness, man. Hey, look, men, those are your princesses, right? The woman that you got on a knee for, that you work your whole life for, out here getting chatted out, getting her cheeks clapped behind a dumpster. What's even more interesting is that this man said that he gave the guy dap after he just got done fondling this lady behind a trash can. I mean, thank God that social media really exists, because I think men are seeing it now and hearing these stories, right? So that they know that these women are, I mean, it is just disgusting, right? Women cheat almost just as much as men, right? When you look at the numbers, it's about even, right? Now, you shouldn't cheat, right? I'm not defending this, but they out there wilding too, right? They like segs too, right? They like getting it on behind a dumpster, right? Because she knows that more than likely that woman married a beta, right? Married a beta, and is just parading him around like a toy, right? The brother showed up at the club and like she ain't just get her cheeks clapped behind a dumpster, and she's in the club introducing him, right? She got him wrapped around her fingers, because if she didn't, she wouldn't even do that. To say some lie to her, and then to get this guy to come to the club and introduce him as her husband when she was just on her knees in a pile of trash. Yo, man. Whew. That's tough.
Straight up, a woman who's out there partying, drinking, dressing wild, and going on those so-called girls' nights isn't wife material. Probably not even relationship material.
Yeah.
If you're looking for someone worth your time, or at least trying to avoid turning a hoe into a wife or girlfriend, you've got to look outside that mess. All women, bro. All of them. And if you're sitting there thinking, not all women, trust me, you'll find out soon enough.
What is on your divorce bucket list? I've had clients go on solo trips, burn their dress, new tattoos, and throw divorce parties. What are you looking forward to? Let me know in the comments.
You know, real quick, this is the society that we put together, right? I mean, you can't have it both ways, right? Where you want people to get married, you want men to get married, but yet this is the society that we've rendered up, right? That celebrates divorce, celebrates breaking up families. The woman in that previous story is behind a trash can. You can't have it both ways. You can't keep divorce high on priority for these women and make a divorce bucket list, right? But then also tell men that they need to get married. Well, which one is it? Which road are we going down here? What are you celebrating, right? Because it seems to me that it's a high level of degeneracy, and men are just supposed to be like, all right, cool, I'll take her, which a lot of men are, right? I mean, a lot of men are just like, all right, whatever, I'll do it. Then your wife is doing backflips behind a dumpster.
Women are now trying to create this trend where they celebrate divorces, just sad and pathetic,
right,
with no thought for the broken homes they've left in their wake.
Right.
Watching my ex thrive, it's a beautiful thing, but it's really triggering for me.
Oh boy.
Because I walked away with literally having to start over after 12 years of starting over, of wondering if I'm going to be able to keep a roof over my head with my boys.
I honestly think you should have thought before making that big decision of divorce. I know that moment you probably were sad or you couldn't handle it, but look at you. Now you're crying over it. So
Yeah, women tend to think the grass is going to be greener on the other side as soon as they leave a relationship. But then once the dust settles and they actually have time to reflect and realize all the toys are gone, all the money's gone, the stability that they had for their kids is gone, then they just cry about it on the internet.
Right.
Why do women make impulsive decisions and then play the victim online? She openly admits she walked away from the marriage but is now bitter because her ex is thriving without her. Classic.
I'm tired of you. You always think everything is a game. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you, bro. You can leave.
Bro, keep your hands off me, bro.
Dang.
That's you doing? That's you doing? That's you on? You want to hit me? All right, bet I'm about to call my mom. I'm about to call my daddy, too. Bet.
Man, what? Man, watch out, bro.
This is what you get when you date straggles, right? When you date, shout out to Coach Greg Adams. This is what you get when you date straggles, right? Women who, yeah, and you just hear it in her voice, you know. And women like this stuff, right? They like this stuff. It's exciting to them. They'll, you know, crash out, you know, and then if you don't crash out over her, if you don't severely make guard her, she'll crash out, right? And what she say? She was gonna call her mama and her daddy, right? Getting everybody involved because she decided to put her hands on him, right? Slap his hat off, push him, and then when he stood up to do something, she jumped into a bag. Nah, don't curl up now. Don't curl up now. You better learn to duck and weave.
Call my daddy, too. Bet.
Man, what? Man, watch out, bro.
Many women realize too late that divorce isn't all it's made out to be. They let go of stability for the chaos, thinking independence will be exciting, only to find it's not as glamorous as it looks online. The thrill of being free fades when real-life responsibilities kick in, like paying bills alone, fixing things around the house, and managing kids without support. Marriage may not have been perfect, but at least there was teamwork and shared burdens. That kind of partnership is hard to find in today's dating world. Unfortunately, some women had partners willing to stick by them, but instead of working things out, they chose divorce. Now they're stuck in a dating scene full of disappointment, realizing it's not exactly overflowing with great options. The thing is, the dating market isn't full of Prince Charmings, it's mostly frogs, and some of them don't even have jobs.
One of the women in the audience shouted, "Why are you single?" I laughed and I went, that's funny, okay. So anyway, and then another person shouted, no, why are you single? And then the audience just started erupting, just shouting this question at me. No one would let me move on.
Did it feel aggressive, or did it feel loving or playful, or a little blend of both?
Oh, it felt like they demanded an answer. Like, how can you be the person that talks about this and you're still single? Like, it just, people were like, I need to know. Like, we have you here.
Yes.
You can't avoid it now. So many people's experiences. More and more of their friends are getting paired off. They feel like they're left on the shelf. They're starting to question whether it's ever going to happen for them. And that's a scary place to be.
I mean, for most women, it's just not, right? I mean, we've seen statistics and data that render this true, right? We've seen things come up that say a lot of these women are going to be single and childless, most likely forever, right? And those people that get married, I wish them the best. Half of them will be divorced, right? So, it's unfortunate, but this is the society we live in. This is what we prop up. And this is what is going to happen to more than likely a lot of people going into, especially for millennials, Gen Z, whatever boomers are left, and Gen X, right? It's going to happen to this demographic. They're going to be single, lonely, and more than likely divorced, right? Feminism, man. Freedom. It's all about freedom.
She really thought divorcing him was going to be her glow-up moment. But then reality came knocking in the form of a $326 child support check. Not per kid, mind you, but total. That's not empowerment. That's barely enough to cover gas. It's almost funny how predictable this is. Women imagining they'll leave their marriage for some fairy tale single life, only to get smacked in the face by reality. They dream of a better man, more money, and zero stress, only to wake up alone with bills they can't pay and regrets. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits.
All right.
Make sure you hit that like button.
Guys, yeah. And the thing too, with a lot of women, I think this one couple talked about it. Yeah, here we go. Just going back a little bit, but I think this one couple down here talked about it, or this gentleman did, in terms of women thinking that the grass is greener on the other side, right? Because again, this is what we tell women, right? This is what society tells women, that there's always a better option, right? Not only is it her own hypergamy, but it's also what the movies tell her. It's also what sitcoms tell her. There's always a better option than what you got at home. And then when they leave home and they find out that there aren't many options out there, at least not ones that they would be happy with, right? Happy. They crash out, right? They start crying. They don't know how they're going to feed themselves or their kids. And it's like, well, you could have just worked it out with your husband, right? The person that you decided to have kids with, the person that you decided to be married to, right? Most women really don't recover from divorces, right? If they do go to another relationship, oftentimes it doesn't work out, right? And sometimes it does, right? Cool. But most times it doesn't. They go jump, and that man, it's hard for him to recover, right? Especially if he's a little bit older, it can be hard for a man to recover, but men can. And what you see a lot of times, they do, right? Some of them never get married again. They're like, no, I'm done. There was a guy who just dropped a video. I can't remember his name, but he dropped a video. Maybe I'll cover it, talking about his marriage divorce horror story, right? And I think it's gone pretty viral. And just how the courts pertain, and those laws, family laws, divorce laws pertain to women. I remember talking to a buddy and trying to explain to him the idea behind no fault divorce and how it came along. I think it was like during the Reagan era. I believe, I might be wrong, but I think it was during the Reagan era. And that no fault divorce was really for, high class, high tier men in Hollywood who wanted to do their own thing. It wasn't really meant for all these other people. And what you see is women using that. And I was trying to explain to my buddy what it was, and he was like, what is that? Like, how don't you know what that is, and you're married? Incredible. Guys, I think we're going to leave it there today. Appreciate you guys for joining in. If you like the content, please subscribe, hit the like button, and drop your comment below. Until next time, eat well, sleep well, be well. I'll see you guys later. Peace.